So students, let's see the last chapter, that is with respect to human resources. Even human beings are resources, and here this resource depends upon different factors. For example, if the working age population is more in a specific country, then they act as a resource. If old age people are present in a particular country, they may act as a resource in some cases, but they become a burden to the state as well. So on the basis of this chapter tries to tell you what are the different things that we need to look when we consider human beings as a resource. So to begin with, skills are most important, and this is what they try to tell you. And about distribution of population, I have already told you 90% of the world's population lives in just 30% of the land surface. We have already seen this fact. Which are the most crowded places? Either plains or deltas where water availability is more and agriculturally dominant areas. Industries where job opportunities are available, you see huge population. Crowded areas are Southeast Asia, South Asia. In South Asia, mainly because of rivers, Ganga, Brahmaputra, Meghana. In this delta, you usually see more number of people. Southeast Asia, industries and also rivers play a very important role. Europe and northeastern North America is mainly because of industries. And when we go at higher altitudes like Canada and Russia, usually the population is present less. Deserts, because of extreme hotness, population is present less. High mountains and areas of equatorial forests, we usually see very few people. Usually UPSC has asked you, where do you see most densely populated areas? That is, you have to remember South and Southeast Asia, Europe and northeastern North America. They asked, are more population present or density of population is more in equatorial forests? No. High mountains? No. Deserts? No. High latitudes? No. But when we are talking about Northeast North America, it is because of industries, Europe because of industries, Asia because of agriculture. Then what is the meaning of density of population? That is the number of people living in a unit area of Earth's surface, usually it is per square kilometer. So the population density is usually more, and it is highest in South Central Asia, followed by East and Southeast Asia. China and Japan also have high population density. And what are the factors which determine distribution of population? One is topography. Mountains, deserts, and also if you talk about plateaus, the number of people are usually less. Plains, deltas usually are more because of this. Mountains like Andes, Alps, Himalayas are sparsely populated. Climate plays a very important role. Extreme cold and extreme hot climate is usually avoided by the people. Soil plays a very important role. If you have fertile soil, which is good for agriculture, then you see good number of people being present in that region. Rivers of water play, and minerals. Mining areas are also dominated by people. Some socio-cultural factors like better facilities, Bangalore, Pune and others has played a very important role for people to go and settle. Cultural aspects like temples, Varanasi, Jerusalem, Vatican City has also attracted huge population densities. Economic opportunities play a very important role like Mumbai, Osaka, and once population come there, industries also come because it acts as a market. So it is from both sides. Then we talk about population change. How does population change occurs? It occurs mainly because of deaths, births, right? Birth increases, death decreases. Along with this, we also consider in-migration and out-migration. Number of people going out of India, then density decreases or population decreases. Number of people coming to India, if it is more, then population increases. So when we talk about population, we need to consider birth, death, we need to talk about in-migration and out-migration as well. So can you see? Birth rate is important, death rate is important, and migration is also important. When we consider only birth rate and death rate, we call it as natural growth rate. But when we consider migration as well, then we call net. I'll give you all those definitions later. Immigrants are the people who leave a country. Immigrants are those who arrive in the country. Whenever I say I give later, either in next NCERT books, or I promise you to make separate videos just to ensure that these concepts are clear for you, right? So, emigration and immigration, in migration, out migration, these are important. And there are different patterns of population change as well. In different countries, that is least developed countries like Kenya, will have high population growth rates. That is, when I consider an axis where I would consider this as population range, I'll draw a line in between, I'll talk male and female, right? Numbers will be there. If I have more base, the meaning of this is birth rate is more. And as I move above, if it narrows down, the meaning of that is death rate is also more. They have high birth rates and death rates. Now with improving healthcare in few countries like India and others, we usually see high birth rate and low death rate. And when we go to industrialized countries or developed countries like United States, or forget United States, when we talk about countries like Germany and all, there are low death rates and low birth rates as well. So can you see, in other countries like UK, you have both low death rates and low birth rates. So these are actually represented by age sex pyramid. In this is very, very important. The total population is divided into various ages like 5 to 9 years, 10 to 14 years, 15 to 19, like this. Then the percentage of total population is again subdivided into males and females. I told you, right, this is the typical example. Can you see this? 0 to 4, 5 to 9, like this age group is divided, and percentage is divided into male and female. So can you see, if you have equal, then sex ratio is equal. If it is less or more, then if male is more and female is less, we say here there is problem with the sex ratio, right? So here I divided into male and female. Can you see age group is more from 0 to 4, that means high birth rate. Can you see deaths are decreasing and the pyramid is going till 85? That means low death rate. So let's see what are these. So when I take Kenya, a typical example, you have high birth rate and high death rate. Can you see this? The shape of the population pyramid tells the story of the people leaving. The number of children are shown at the bottom and reflect the levels of birth. So if you have more, it is high birth rate. The size of the top shows the number of aged people and how many are present. This is high death rate. Now when we talk about a country like India, you have high birth rate, but can you see 65 and above you have lot of people, which shows that the death rate has reduced a lot. And when you take the example of countries like Japan, the population goes till 85. Can you see here it is small? So here you have low birth rate and low death rate. Working population is fine. So in between, this is called as youth, old and working population. If you have more old and more young or more children, the meaning of this is old and children are dependent. If you have more number of working, that means working population is usually more. You have to know all these facts. That is, a pyramid can be divided on the basis of ages and percentage of male and female present. If bottom is more, then we say high birth rate. And as it tapers up, we usually observe that if it tapers at 60, 65, we say high death rate. If it goes beyond 80, we call low death rate. When we talk about those countries like developed Japan, Germany and all, birth rate is also less, death rate is also less. So this is also called as a country move from least developed to developing, then we see in least developed countries, high birth rates and high death rates. When we talk about developing countries, high birth rates, low death rates because they have good health facilities. And when we talk about developed countries, low birth rates and low death rates. Every country has to undergo this change is what many people like Malthusian has actually predicted, right? So these are some of the facts which are very, very important for you. Just go through this chapter once for your essay. And also, when you talk in geography, with respect to prelims, where you focus on age sex pyramid, they may give you these pyramids and ask you it represents which country. So you should be ready to answer that as well. In 12th standard human geography NCERT book, again these are explained in detail, there I'll help you out, but still before that some basic information about the age sex pyramid is required. What did you remember? Age sex pyramid divides into ages and it gives male and female population, and they try to tell you whether the child population is more, which indicates birth rate. If more old age people are there, then the death rates have reduced. If it is less, it has increased. In between, if the population is more, then working population is more. No, if children are more and old age people are more, then dependency is actually more. All these are very, very important for us to understand pyramids or population. So guys, with this, we are actually completing this particular book. Next, let us take Indian geography. NCERTs are designed in such a way that in 7th standard you actually read about world geography, or you read about physical geography of the world, geomorphology, climatology, oceanography and all. Now you read about world resource distribution or also India's resource distribution. Then you talk about Indian geography, where we will be focusing more about the climate and other things with respect to India. And then you will be seeing economic development within India, where again we will be focusing upon the economic activities in India. All these are combined in 11th and 12th standard, 4 books are there. Again these will be explained in detail. So I have taken an opportunity to explain you some points here, and we will be elaborating them in those chapters again. So even if something is left, we will make other videos for them. Right? Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.